Archangel Michael says, "This old man tried to destroy you, but something terrible happened. You need to see this. The world may think it's just another story, but this one is written in fire and truth. Behind a quiet face, behind an aging smile, a plan was moving, slow, hidden, patient. It was not born of wisdom, but of envy. He thought your light was too bright, your peace too steady, your blessings too undeserved. The old man watched from the shadows, pretending kindness but feeding on jealousy. He whispered small lies into trusting ears, hoping to bend your world without being seen. But heaven saw. Angels take note of every whisper made in darkness. And when a heart like his turns fully to harm, heaven does not look away, it responds. Archangel Michael says, he thought he could use age as a shield, pretending innocence behind wrinkles and time. He thought people would never suspect him. But there is one thing he forgot: the truth has perfect vision. You may have felt strange lately, like eyes were on you, like something unseen was shifting. You were not wrong. Something was stirring, and it was never meant for your destruction, it was meant for your awakening. He planned quietly, thinking no one would notice. But the moment he began, light began to move. What he wanted to break, heaven decided to rebuild stronger. Every word he spoke against you became a seed that grew roots of his own undoing. While he schemed, angels gathered. While he plotted, heaven prepared a mirror. Type 333 if you believe that truth always returns. Archangel Michael says, one night, he sat alone, his thoughts dark, his heart heavy. He thought about what you had that he did not, your peace, your faith, your small victories. That envy turned to bitterness, and bitterness to action. He made a call, sent a message, moved a paper he thought would harm you. He smiled then, believing the deed was done. But what he didn't know was that every word he sent was being watched by divine hands. He slept thinking he had won. But heaven had other plans. The very tools he used against you began to fall apart in his own hands. The same lie he sent forward came back, changed. His friends began to turn silent, and his own circle started to question him. The same doubt he wanted for you started following him. Archangel Michael says, sometimes heaven doesn't stop evil right away. It lets it walk a little while, to reveal itself fully. So do not worry about what seems slow. The delay was never punishment, it was preparation. The higher forces were setting the stage for everyone to see what he truly was. And when the moment comes, the mask will fall completely. You may not even need to speak. His actions will speak for him. The same crowd that once believed his lies will start to whisper, something is not right. The tide has already turned, even if you cannot see it yet. Type 777 if you feel the turn beginning. Archangel Michael says, the reason you were chosen to face this is because your strength was tested before, and heaven knows what you can bear. This is not your first trial, and it will not be your last victory. Your calmness is your weapon. You may not have known you were being targeted, but heaven did. And long before his plans began, protection was already wrapped around you like invisible armor. He thought he was the hunter, but he became the hunted by his own choices. The same path he dug for you has begun to crumble beneath his feet. You will hear of something soon, a rumor, a report, a sudden silence from his side. That will be the sign. Heaven has touched his life, not for revenge, but for correction. Archangel Michael says, there is a reason this message found you tonight. It is not coincidence. You were meant to hear it now, because the hour is near. The storm is no longer forming, it is breaking. And when it does, you will stand, not shaken, but wiser. Type 1111 to claim this wisdom. He tried to break your faith first. That's always how it begins. People like him know that if they can shake your belief, they can touch your peace. But you did not fall. Even in confusion, you kept your spirit steady. That quiet strength is what saved you. It was not luck, it was divine alignment. The old man underestimated the power of a soul that has already survived storms before. Archangel Michael says, you may not know it, but when you prayed in your darkest moment, your words became light. That light traveled, found its way into rooms you couldn't enter, hearts you couldn't reach, and minds that were being tempted to betray you. Your prayer broke his chain of influence. What he built in months was undone in a single night of your faith. He will try once more, perhaps with softer words this time. He will pretend to apologize, to explain, to appear harmless. Do not accept the act too quickly. Forgiveness is holy, but trust must be earned. Let his actions prove what his tongue cannot. Type 222 if you understand the difference. Archangel Michael says, when someone spends their life trying to ruin others, the ruin eventually finds them. This is not punishment, it is balance. Heaven never ignores cruelty done in secret. He thought his age would make him untouchable. But age protects the wise, not the wicked. His actions have written a story that only truth can finish. You will begin to feel something soon, a sudden peace, a weight lifting off your shoulders. That will be the moment heaven completes what it started. You will not see thunder, you will not hear shouting, it will be quiet, but powerful. That is how real justice moves. Archangel Michael says, you were not meant to lose. You were meant to witness. Every time someone tried to dim your light, heaven added oil to your lamp. And now it burns brighter than before. The same people who doubted you will come back, asking for your forgiveness. When they do, do not be bitter. Teach them what grace looks like. Type 444 if you choose peace over pride. He thought power came from control, but you know power comes from truth. You do not need to prove anything now. The truth will prove itself. The walls that once whispered your name in mockery will soon speak it with respect. There will be a change in the air, even your house will feel lighter. You will sleep better, you will breathe easier, and you will know that the test has passed. Archangel Michael says, "This old man tried to destroy you, but something terrible happened." The terrible thing was not his victory. The terrible thing was his awakening. When heaven shows a man his own reflection, it breaks him from within. What he feels now is not triumph, but the heavy weight of his own deeds. That is what judgment looks like. The story is ending. Not with revenge, but with release. You are free from his grasp, from his shadow, from his noise. The angels have closed this chapter, and a new one begins. One where your peace cannot be stolen again. Type 1212 if you accept this ending. Archangel Michael says, "Rest now. What was meant for evil has turned into your strengthening. You have survived the storm. You are still standing. You are still protected. And no plan of man can ever destroy what heaven has blessed." Archangel Michael says, "The story is not finished. The sky still holds a secret about what happened to the old man who tried to destroy you. There are things the world has not seen, things that happened when heaven's hand reached down and touched the truth. That night, when you could not sleep, something began to stir in the unseen. You felt the air change, but you did not yet know why. It was the moment heaven took back control. He had been warned many times. Dreams came to him, small pains, small delays, gentle calls to stop. But pride made him blind. He laughed at the signs, thinking his age made him untouchable, his cunning enough to outsmart anyone. He thought time was his ally. But Archangel Michael says, even time bends to justice. The clock that once ticked for his plans began to tick against them. Every hour he borrowed became a step toward his own reckoning. He moved in silence, thinking no one would notice. He changed papers, twisted words, turned allies into spies. But in his arrogance, he forgot that heaven listens through walls. Every whisper was written in the book of consequence. Every false story he created became another chain he tied around himself. He thought he was building a trap for you, but the trap was always waiting for him. Type 333 if you believe truth always returns home. Archangel Michael says, "Do you remember the night the light flickered in your room, the night the air felt heavy for no reason?" That was the moment the shift began. The angels were near, circling, inspecting, adjusting what men had tangled. You were being protected in ways you could not see. A barrier was being placed between your heart and his intent. His words would still reach you, but they would lose their sting. His schemes would continue, but they would lose direction. He grew frustrated. He could not understand why nothing worked anymore. His words began to sound hollow, his charm lost its pull. People he trusted began to step back, unsure why their confidence in him was fading. He blamed them, but deep down, he felt the truth creeping in. He was being unmasked, not by people, but by divine order. Heaven had started showing everyone his true face, piece by piece. Then came the day of collapse. A letter lost, a call recorded, a friend's sudden confession. The chain snapped in 3 places, and his plan fell apart before it reached its target. He shouted, but no one listened. He tried to twist stories again, but this time the words tangled in his own mouth. The power he used to hold was gone, and all that remained was the echo of his deceit. Type 777 if you feel justice is never late. Archangel Michael says, in that moment, you were still unaware. You went about your day, unaware that the storm had already turned in your favor. The battle you didn't even know you were fighting had been won. You were being shielded while heaven fought for you. That is why you survived so many close calls, times when it almost fell apart, but didn't. You thought it was coincidence. It was not. Every delay, every confusion, every sudden help that appeared from nowhere was part of heaven's defense. He began to grow sick in spirit. Restless, suspicious, unable to find peace. That is what happens when a heart fights against divine order. You will soon hear that he is no longer the same. He wanders through his own thoughts, lost, unable to find rest. It is not your curse upon him, it is the consequence of the mirror heaven placed before his eyes. The terrible thing that happened was not destruction, but awakening. To see himself clearly, at last. Archangel Michael says, you were never meant to be his victim. You were meant to be the witness of what truth does when it is patient. You stood firm without even knowing the depth of the plot. Your silence became your weapon. Your calmness, your shield. When you refused to act from hate, heaven had the right to act on your behalf. That is how the law of heaven works, the pure heart wins even when it seems surrounded. Type 1111 to keep your spirit strong. Now, as days pass, you will notice strange shifts. People who once believed his words will begin to avoid his company. Conversations will stop when he enters a room. Invitations will fade. This is the slow correction of justice. The same voices that once whispered lies will now whisper about him. The same faces that smirked behind your back will start to look at you with quiet respect. They won't say it out loud, but they know now who was right. Archangel Michael says, do not let bitterness rise. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is freedom. You are free now, and you must not let your soul stay chained to old anger. The past cannot hurt you anymore unless you carry it. Drop it where it stands. You are moving into a new season, one that requires no proof, no defense, only peace. Heaven has cleared the path. Doors that were once locked will begin to open. Conversations that once ended in rejection will turn into opportunity. Even your health will feel lighter, your sleep deeper. It is the weight leaving your shoulders. The energy that once went into defending yourself is now becoming creative strength. Use it well. Type 222 if you accept restoration. Archangel Michael says, "Do not wonder why the one who hurt you is still here." Heaven's judgment is not always removal, sometimes it is transformation. The old man will be left to face his own echo. Every night, he will relive the choices he made. He will remember your face, your calm, your patience, and realize what he has lost. That is the quiet justice that no court can give. You will cross paths again, though not soon. When you do, he will not look the same. His voice will be smaller, his eyes uncertain. You may feel the urge to look away, but don't. Look at him once, not with anger, but with understanding. He will not be able to hold your gaze for long. That is when he will know that you were protected by something greater than he ever believed. Archangel Michael says, "You have grown stronger than you realize." This trial was not sent to break you, but to prepare you. There are people who will need your story soon. They are where you were, scared, doubting, surrounded by betrayal. When they hear what you endured and how you stood still, it will give them hope. That is why you had to go through this. Every survivor becomes a messenger. Type 444 if you will use your story for good. Now the air will settle. The noise will fade. You will feel peace enter your home like a gentle visitor. It will touch your heart, your thoughts, your rest. That peace is your confirmation. What was meant for your destruction has turned into your defense. The heavens do not forget those who stand in faith. You have been seen, and now you are being restored. Archangel Michael says, "Soon there will be laughter again in your days, real laughter, not the cautious kind. The heaviness that lingered will lift like morning fog. You will speak your truth freely and sleep without fear. The old man's shadow will pass, and in its place, light will take root. The place he tried to empty will become full of joy." The story ends not with revenge, but with peace. You have survived what others could not. You have stood where others would have fallen. Now heaven calls you victorious, not because you fought, but because you trusted. The old man tried to destroy you, but he only revealed your strength. Type 1212 if you receive your peace. Archangel Michael says, rest now. Let the world talk, let time move. You are safe. You are free. The light has already gone before you. The angels stand guard at your door, and no shadow can enter. The chapter is closed, and a new dawn begins. Archangel Michael says, the air is softer now, but the story is still unfolding. You may think it's over, yet something deeper is happening behind the veil of calm. Heaven is still working, finishing what it started. The echoes of that old man's actions are being erased one by one, not by human hands, but by time guided through divine will. What was once poisoned is being purified. What was once broken is being mended quietly. Do not mistake silence for absence. Heaven's justice moves in quiet rooms, unseen, unheard, but unstoppable. Even now, words are being rewritten in the minds of those who once doubted you. They wake in the night remembering something you said, realizing they were wrong. That's how truth returns, not with noise, but with gentle conviction that won't let them rest until they see clearly. He sits alone now, the one who once tried to destroy you. His power, his pride, his plans, all of them turned to dust. He looks around and wonders how it all slipped away. Those who stood with him have scattered. Some avoid him. Some pity him. And deep inside, he knows the reason. He knows that he touched what was sacred, your name, your peace, your destiny, and heaven never forgets such trespass. Type 333 to hold on to your peace. Archangel Michael says, do not let curiosity pull you into his fall. You have no need to watch what happens next. The lesson is already complete. The storm has left the sky, but the ground still glistens with the water of renewal. You may feel the urge to speak, to tell everyone what he did, but heaven whispers, be still. The truth is already moving faster than words ever could. You have been made an example, not of pain, but of perseverance. Your story will travel quietly, healing others who have been wronged in secret. People will hear of you and think, if they could survive that, so can I. And that ripple will continue long after you have forgotten the details of this trial. There is beauty in the way heaven works, not through revenge, but through redemption. The same fire that burned once has now refined you into something unshakable. What once made you cry now makes you wise. What once made you question yourself now reminds you of your worth. The scars you carry are no longer symbols of what hurt you, they are proof of what you outlived. Type 777 if you accept your new strength. Archangel Michael says, the old man's downfall came not by wrath, but by reflection. Heaven made him face himself, every choice, every lie, every moment he ignored mercy. He began to see your face in every dream, your patience haunting him like a prayer unanswered. That is divine justice, to see the light of the one you tried to harm and realize too late what it meant. He will try to make peace, but not with words. He will attempt small gestures, a favor sent through another, a message left unanswered. Accept none of it. Forgiveness is in your heart already, it does not need their permission. Some apologies are meant for heaven, not for you. Let him find his own way to repentance. Your path now leads elsewhere. The world will notice your calm. They will wonder how you stood still when chaos called your name. You will tell them, it was not me who stood, it was the strength inside me that I did not know I had. That truth will echo through generations. Even the youngest who hear your story will learn that age does not weaken faith, it deepens it. Type 1111 if you claim your wisdom. Archangel Michael says, you may not see angels, but you have felt them, in the narrow escapes, the sudden relief, the unexpected kindness of strangers. They have been at your side through every step of this trial. Now that it's over, they do not leave. They stay near, watching the garden of your life begin to bloom again. Flowers always grow where pain once stood. Do not rush this peace. Let it settle slowly, like morning light filling an empty room. There is no need to search for closure, it is already here. What's behind you cannot harm you anymore. What's ahead of you cannot be taken away. Heaven has already written your next season, and it begins with rest. Soon, someone new will enter your life, not to replace, but to remind. They will carry kindness in their eyes and gentleness in their speech. You will recognize them by the calm they bring. This person is a gift of restoration, a sign that not all people scheme, not all hearts betray. They will help you believe again in simple goodness. Type 222 to open your heart to new beginnings. Archangel Michael says, the road ahead will be softer now, but do not forget what you've learned. Keep your discernment close. You will never again be caught unaware. You have grown into someone wiser, someone who can sense falsehood long before it reaches your door. That wisdom is not paranoia, it is divine intuition. It will guide you through every future storm. There will come a time soon when you will sit alone and realize that you no longer think about the pain every day. You will notice that your chest feels lighter, your steps easier. That is how healing happens, not suddenly, but steadily. And when that moment comes, say quietly to yourself, I made it. Because you did. Heaven is not finished blessing you. The years ahead will bring comfort where there was confusion, laughter where there was silence. You will rebuild, not out of fear, but out of faith. Every morning will hold a new piece of peace, and every evening will end with gratitude instead of worry. Type 444 to welcome your peace. Archangel Michael says, the terrible thing that happened to him was not punishment, it was awakening. The wonderful thing that happened to you was not luck, it was grace. That is how balance is restored. You will look back one day and understand that this entire storm was not sent to destroy, but to redirect. Without it, you would never have discovered the strength that was hidden inside you. So rest now. The battle is over. The angels stand down, their wings folded, their watch complete. You are safe, you are free, and you are whole. Nothing can touch the light that has been placed in you. Nothing can remove the peace that has been sealed around your home. Archangel Michael says, smile tonight, even if your heart trembles. Because the chapter that once carried your tears now ends with your peace. The one who tried to destroy you has faded, but you remain, brighter, wiser, and still standing. The story ends not in pain, but in promise. Type 1212 if you receive this ending in peace.